Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today our adventuring party find themselves trapped in a dungeon room with no escape. There's a statue of a beholder in there with a big glowing yellow eye that is watching the party and filling the room with an anti-magic ray. There's also 10 eye stalks coming off of the statue of the beholder, but there are no eyes attached to the end. In front of this statue of the beholder is a cauldron full of optic fluid and thousands of different squishy eyeballs of different colors. Our party needs to escape, and they're confronted with a puzzle. They need to take a few of the eyeballs out of the cauldron and put them into the statue of the beholder. But what color of eyes and how many? Well, that's the puzzle. So today we're going to take a look at the eyes of the beholder. Real quick before we get started, this is actually a two-part puzzle. Well, kind of. I had two different ideas of how I wanted to run this. One being with a statue of a beholder, the other with an obelisk. And so I've decided to record both of them. And I'd really like your feedback on which one you like better. So this is going to be the eyes of the beholder. And in a couple weeks, I'll release the eyes of the obelisk. So be sure to watch both of them. Tell me which one you like better. And let's get this thing started. Let's check in on the adventuring party. So our adventuring party has found themselves in this room here. And when I run this puzzle, it will probably be they have no way out. So they could have went down a sliding trapdoor that dumped them off into this room. Maybe a one-way door and it slammed behind them or disappeared behind them. Maybe the entrance caved in. Maybe they're teleported or went through a portal. Something like that. But of course, you as the DM or GM can make this optional or use it as how you see fit. But our main room here is going to have a few things that are irrelevant. We've got a set of 3 different barrels over here, and we can fill them with whatever we want, but those are irrelevant to the puzzle. We've got a treasure chest over here that might or might not have something in it, may or may not be trapped. Again, irrelevant to the puzzle. What we are going to have that is relevant is we have a statue of a beholder. And in front of this statue of a beholder, we have a cauldron, which is like the big witch's brew, the witch's pot. And it is full of eyeballs. And in this cauldron full of eyeballs is like a gooey, not really acidic, but like a gooey optic slime that keeps all these eyeballs together. And there are 5 different colors of eyeballs. This thing is just packed full of eyeballs. There's blue eyes, green, red, brown, and purple. Now the players can reach in and they can grab the eyes and they can hold them. And again, it's just going to be some kind of an optic slime that they're holding in their hand. But they can do that if they choose so. And there's an endless supply of these eyes in here. So whenever they grab a couple out, a few more take its place. And then finally, I'm going to have 5 paintings, and I'm going to put all 5 of them together over on this wall. And our 5 paintings over here are going to dictate or tell the players how to solve the puzzle. So they're going to give, these 5 paintings here are going to give the clues to solve the puzzle. Now before we get to the paintings, let's take a closer look at the beholder statue. Now the center eye is actually active, and it is going to be a bright yellow center eye of the beholder. And what this center eye does is it projects a anti-magic field over this entire room. So we do have that going for us. Now if the players investigate the rest of the statue, they're going to see 10 eye stalks. And at the end of every eye stalk is an empty hole where an eye could go. And as the DM, I would probably at this point allow them to make a perception or an investigation roll, and they will figure out that what they need to do is grab the eyes from here, and they need to take these eyes and place them into the stalk of the beholder. But to solve the puzzle with the 10 stalks, they have to get the correct color of eyes. And again, in order to get the correct color of eyes, they're going to need to reference these paintings over here. So let's take a closer look at the paintings. Okay, so we have our first painting here, and as you can see, this is a dwarf riding what looks like a mountain lion. And this is in a green picture frame. Right below that, we have a tree fully blossomed, looks like it might be in the summertime, and it is in a purple picture frame. In the middle here, we have a gnome, and he is holding a sewing needle, and he is in a red picture frame. In the upper right hand corner, we have a picture or a painting of 3 skeleton warriors. And these 3 skeleton warriors are in a blue picture frame. And finally, in the bottom right hand corner, we have a picture or a painting of a treasure chest. And this treasure chest is in a brown picture frame. So in order to solve this puzzle, the characters are going to have to take the eyes from the cauldron and put it into the 10 stalks of the beholder. Looking at these paintings, can you tell how many and of what color of eyes go into the statue of the beholder? I'll give you a minute if you'd like to figure it out. Did you get it? Great. Let's take a look at the answer. So if we take a look at our paintings, what's really going to give it away is we describe the cauldron of eyeballs as having green, purple, red, blue, and brown eyes. And if the players look at these paintings, they're going to see a green, purple, red, blue, and brown picture frame. The next clue that should tip the players off to the solution is pretty evident in the blue picture frame where we have the 3 skeleton warriors. And I have really made these 3 eyeballs on this creature stand out. So you've got an empty eye socket and a bulging white eye on each of these. So if we count the bulging eyes of the skeleton warriors, there's 1, 2, 3, and they are in the blue frame. So if the characters take the blue eyeballs, 3 of them, and fill 3 eye stalks, they'll be able to continue the puzzle. Looking at the next one, let's take a look at the dwarf riding the mountain lion. This is in a green picture frame, and if we count the eyes of the dwarf, which is 2, and the mountain lion, which is 2, we have a total of 4. So if the characters take 4 green eyes and put them into the beholder, we now have a total of 7. We have 3 blue and 4 green. That leaves 3 eye stalks to fill for the beholder. Let's look at the paintings once more. If we look at the red picture frame, we've got a gnome, and I tried to make those eyes bulge out a little bit on him. So the gnome has 2 eyes. So there's 2 red eyeballs that we should choose. But there's also a sewing needle. And if you're familiar with a sewing needle, there is an eye at the end of it that the thread goes through. So that will be our 3rd eye. So that will be 3 red eyes. So now if the characters take the eye, the 3 red eyes, and fill in the 3 remaining eye stalks, then this cauldron will drain and empty and reveal a portal that the characters can jump down into and be teleported somewhere else in the dungeon. Now, if you remember, we have 5 pictures. So we have a tree in a purple frame and a treasure chest in the brown frame, and those mean absolutely nothing to the puzzle. So those are irrelevant. The puzzle needed 10 eyes for the eye stalks of the beholder, and we needed the 4 green, the 3 red, and the 3 blue. So the purple and brown picture frame and the purple and brown eyes are just there to misdirect or mislead the players. So that's how the puzzle is solved. But what if the adventuring party and the players make a mistake? Let's say instead of 4 green eyes, they put 5 green eyes into the eye stalks of the statue of the beholder. Well, that's when I would probably have, as soon as they go wrong, let's say as soon as they put that wrong eye in, then all of the eyes that they did place in the eye stalk, they kind of disintegrate or melt out of the eye stalks, and maybe just one eye comes floating up and out of the cauldron. And that is when we get to maybe randomly roll one of the effects of the beholder. Now I'm looking at Volo's Guide to Monsters. We could use a fear ray, a petrification ray, maybe turning one of the adventurers to stone, maybe a death ray, sleep, something to that effect. And what's great about Volo's Guide to Monsters is it gives some additional variant abilities, because Charm Ray really wouldn't make any sense in this predicament with the puzzle, but instead of Charm Ray we could have Banishment or Confusion, and both of those would work. So if they put the wrong amount of eyes in, they disintegrate and they melt away, one of the eyes comes up, and one of the characters, saving throw or no saving throw up to the DM, one of them are banished to another plane, maybe the ethereal plane, and they have to watch their fellow adventurers work on the puzzle, and once the puzzle is solved, then they can come back. But up to the DM, I would highly suggest looking at the Beholder variant abilities in Volo's Guide to Monsters for some good ideas, but good to have those on hand if the players solve the puzzle or failed to solve the puzzle. So that was the Eyes of the Beholder. I'm really excited about this puzzle. I think it can be a lot of fun. And again, I was really torn on what version I wanted to run of it. I had quite a few variants, so I decided to do both of them. So be sure to tune in a couple of weeks when we take a look at Eyes of the Obelisk, which is the other variant of the puzzle I wanted to run. With that being said, what did you think of the puzzle? Is this something that you could use in your game? And if so, and I'm sure you've got some ideas, what would you do differently? Be sure to comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't joined our Discord channel yet, there's a link below. What are you waiting for? Come chat with me and find out what videos I have coming up next. And until then, I appreciate you hanging out. Hope you like the puzzle. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks for watching. On to the next.